Good afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you this fabulous, inspirational Tuesday afternoon. My name is Jeannie D, and today in The Loft we have such an amazing, inspiring, courageous woman. Her name is Dr. Maria Phalime, and she started off as a medical doctor and then became a best-selling author. And talking about career changes, we actually have a gentleman in The Loft who's a career life coach a little bit later, and he actually gave up his career as an engineer to open up a coffee shop. I'm going to need all of the inspiration that I can today because I've decided to not change a career, but to cycle the Argus, and I actually did my first training for it yesterday. So I'm going to need as much inspiration for it as I possibly can. Bonnie, you're going to have to feed me some of that.
I'm so proud of you, Jeannie. I wish you all the best. I'm Bonnie Booley. Welcome to our Loft Kitchen. Today, Clem and I are making roasted figs, Greek yogurt, and peanut almond brittle.
It's amazing. It's not my recipe. It's Chef Jono's recipe. He was supposed to be here today, but he and his wife are expecting their baba.
Oh, wow.
So I'm stepping in.
Yeah.
So all the best to Jono and his wife. So I can't wait to get cracking on this one. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be delicious.
I love figs. They're my favorite. And of course, the recipe and the full shopping list are on our website. Later on, we'll be showing you an interview that I conducted last week in Zulu with Maskandi legend Ihashi Elimhlophe and his wife Umam. So we'll be showing you that in a bit. But for now, let's head over to the couch with our first guest.
Thanks, Bonnie. Now, after graduating from the University of Cape Town Medical School in 1999, she worked as a general practitioner for a brief period before she realized that her passion was actually in literature. And over time, she replaced the scalpel for the pen. Today, she's an award-winning author with 2 published books to her name, the first being her memoir called The Postmortem, The Doctor Who Walked Away, and the second being a fictional novel called Second Chances. Joining us on the couch is Dr. Maria Phalime. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And you have, I mean, after all of those grueling years of studying medicine, you decided, not for me, I'm over this.
I think it was more than that, you know, because medicine was my childhood dream.
Yeah.
But working in the public health system was rough. And I really began to wonder whether I wanted to be in that environment for the rest of my life. So it was one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make. Yeah. But I decided to take a leap of faith and look elsewhere.
What hospital were you based in?
I worked at, initially in the UK, and then when I came back, I did my community service in Cape Town, at Jooste and in Khayelitsha. So I was really working in the thick of things, in very, very difficult environments.
What are those conditions like as a doctor? I mean, what did you have to endure? Probably very little sleep and...
Very little sleep, and, you know, the challenges with the public health system is that there is a huge amount of need. People in this country are very unwell. We've got HIV, we've got violence, we've got all sorts of diseases. But at the same time, you've got a health system that is under-resourced. So the mismatch between what is required and what is available is massive. So on a day-to-day basis, you're really doing your best with very little.
Yeah, I can imagine that must be tremendously frustrating.
It's hugely frustrating.
So then where were you able to draw in inspiration to then, and the time to pen your memoirs?
Well, I mean, it was quite a while after I left medicine that I decided to write about my journey. Because when I first decided to leave, I was clear that, okay, I'm done with that chapter of my life. But then I went on a journey of self-discovery. You know,
Did you go traveling or
well, no, I worked in investment promotion. I did some economic research. I did all sorts of non-medical things. But the questions kept lingering. You know, I kept asking myself, maybe if I'd tried a bit harder, maybe if I'd hung in there, maybe. Yeah. And then also memories of patients, of particular cases kept haunting me.
Yeah.
So it was that urge to get it all out, to process, to heal, that got me to start writing.
I mean, you're tremendously brave. I think, you know, isn't there research saying that people change careers at least 3 times in their life?
Yeah.
But actually to step out and give up something that would have been very secure for you.
Oh, absolutely. I was set, really.
Yeah, absolutely. To step out of that and kind of venture into the unknown is terrifying. What gave you that source of bravery, I suppose, and security, just to say, I'm doing it?
I didn't think that I was brave.
Yeah.
And I certainly had no sense of security. You know, I think taking a leap of faith is really about that.
Yeah.
You are terrified, but you know you need to do something. And that's what I did.
So then you wrote your memoir. Tell us a bit about that.
Like I said earlier, you know, I needed to get this stuff out. I needed to get closure on that chapter of my life for myself. So when I started writing it, it was partly about sharing my story, but also speaking to other doctors, because a fair number of doctors also do what I did, which is leave the medical profession. So I wanted to have a look and see, is there a common theme? Are the stories similar? You know, what's going on out there? And what I found was that certainly the challenges I faced were not unique to me.
Yeah.
That people out there are really, really struggling. And certainly after the book was published, the number of emails and messages I've had from doctors is overwhelming. You know, people say, well, thank you. A lot of the time they say thank you, because this is something that we don't talk about in the medical profession.
Sure.
You know, you're a doctor, you're sorted, your life is set, you're a healer, you're looking after other people. You're not really meant to focus on yourself. So people are sitting with a lot of hurt and disillusionment. So I think writing my book has enabled other people to see themselves in me.
And it was obviously such a great success and could have been tremendously cathartic, actually, getting all of that out.
Yeah.
But you won an award as well. Did you ever think that you were going to get an award for just putting yourself onto paper?
No, I guess not. But, you know, sometimes that's what happens when we take those major leaps. You know, things happen that we hadn't expected. But for me, I think the most gratifying thing about writing this book is what it's done for me in terms of my healing and what it's potentially doing for other doctors. Sure. You know, when I left medicine, I thought that I was quite sad to have let that dream go. So it's great for me now to know that I can still help the medical profession and medical professionals through my story.
And not just your story, because after your memoirs, you went on, though, to write a fictional novel as well. What was that about?
Well, it's aimed at youths, grade 8, and it's really about the whole idea. For me, what I really believe is that we are here on this planet for a reason, and we must go for it. And it's about a young girl who wants to be a doctor, but she's facing a lot of the challenges that young people face. You know, coming from a poor home, gangsterism in the neighborhood, sugar daddies, you know, all of those challenges. But it's really about working through those challenges and keeping her dream alive. And that's something that I know is relevant for a lot of young people.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, to say to them, hang on a sec, keep dreaming. These challenges are there, but keep dreaming and make things happen for yourself.
And I'm just curious to find out, just quickly, what did your friends and family say when you were like, sorry, I'm going to be a writer. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor anymore. Wasn't there a sense of panic?
I suppose with my family, they wanted me to be happy. You know, I mean, I'm a parent with my children. I'd like to think that no matter what my own aspirations for them are, that I would support them irrespective. And that's what I've had from my family. I've had huge amounts of support.
Thank you so much. You are so outstandingly inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, today we're giving away hampers containing both of Dr. Phalime's books, Postmortem and Second Chances. All you have to do is SMS the keyword books, your name and city to 33728. SMSs cost R1.50 each. T's and C's apply and can be found on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. After the break, we make roasted figs with Greek yogurt and almond brittle. And we're joined by a life coach to take a look at how to change an unhappy career. We'll be right back.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas. Because nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, today we are going to be making this dessert that has actually got me very excited because of all of these interesting taste combinations. Don't forget, you can make this tasty little dessert with us as well. All you need to do is visit our website right now, afternoonexpress.co.za, for all of these fabulous ingredients and the recipe. Not your recipe, you said.
Not my recipe, Jono's recipe.
Yeah.
But he's having a baby. Jono's not having a baby.
Okay. That would be interesting if he was. Okay, but it's his recipe, but also very easy to follow so that we can all do it. And it just looks tasty already. So how are we going to get started?
So we're going to start off by working on our caramel. And all we're using is some salati white sugar in our pan and some water. So the idea of the caramel is that it's the water, the sugar dissolves into the water really easily with salati sugar, and then it starts caramelizing, and that's where we develop flavor. We've been talking about the B word, budgets.
Yes.
And this, once again, this is actually a budget dish.
But you're making your own caramel and your own brittle. I mean, that's...
Exactly.
I really actually need to learn how to do this.
And it's
so what
really
did you just
simple.
throw in there?
That's sugar and water. And what's going to happen, like I said, the sugar's going to dissolve into the water. It's going to start caramelizing. And after a few minutes, what you're going to end up with is a brown caramel. So you're probably wondering, how can I say it's a budget recipe if we're using figs? Figs are in season at the moment. So if you want to get some figs, and if you love figs, now's the time to get it. My girlfriend's crazy about figs. She brought home 1 kilogram of figs. I made fig chutney, fig jam, preserved figs, roasted figs.
Figs in a salad with blue cheese.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what we had, actually, figs and blue.
Great.
So while that's going, I'm getting carried away.
I know.
So
it's figs, they are inspiring.
We've got our caramel, beautifully caramelized, nice and dark, and we're going to go in with some sliced almonds.
Yeah.
That's going to be for our brittle.
Okay.
So, and then we're not going to toast the nuts before the time. It is actually going to toast while it's busy in the caramel.
And to make them even more budget, you can throw peanuts in there instead to make a peanut brittle.
We could do that, but we're not. Today
I love
a little
peanut
bit of luxury,
brittle.
a
I'm
little
bit addicted to peanut brittle.
So I've got the nuts in there. I'll let them toast for a little bit. I'll start stirring it. While that's happening, I'm going to get another pan on the go. Let me use this one.
Yeah.
There we go. And we're going to use our delicious figs. So you can see how ripe they are. You can see the sugar that's coming out of them already. So let me get some of the salati plantation in there, which has a slight caramel flavor to it already. You can see that color, so you know it's going to have just more than a natural sweetness. It's going to have a bit of flavor in there as well.
And am I right in saying brown's always a good option to go for when you're choosing sugar?
Absolutely. And for me, as well as if you're going to sweeten a dish, if at all you can add another element of flavor besides just a sweetness, go for it. Why not go for the brown then? That's why I always prefer using that plantation is amazing because it's not too strong. Some people might find that brown sugar has too much of a caramel flavor. The plantation doesn't. It's
no
like
such thing as too much caramel.
So our
we
brittle,
like things sweet in this kitchen.
We're going to just let the brittle, I want to keep it in chunks. So instead of having a flat one, we keep a bit of dimension to it. So just give it a bit of a shake, get a nice even spread out in them. So that's our brittle done. And we just need to keep an eye on our
they're
figs.
starting to heat up.
And
but I can't remember which ones I put down first.
I can kind of see. So what we're doing, we're just bringing out even more flavor in the figs. So they've got that natural sweetness. The salati plantation brings out even more. And we're going to get that nice roasted caramel flavor out of the figs.
Great. There you go.
And what you should see, it starts happening. It starts crystallizing on the outside. And we're not going to turn them over and do the other side. We're going to keep some of the freshness on the back. So we'll have that nice crunch in the front and the softness of the figs at the back.
Okay, so you literally leave them in there for a little flash in the pan?
I'd say about 45 seconds to get a really good crust on them. That's the idea. And you can see some of the natural sugars coming out there as well. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's looking a bit hot. So yeah, so we got our nice nutty flavor of the caramel and the almonds, and we're going to bring some more sweetness of the natural sweet sugars of our figs. And then what we're going to do in the next part is we're going to get some Greek natural thick yogurt. We're going to whip it through some cream, a little bit of icing sugar, and we're going to plate it up on a platter for all our guests. Everybody's sharing.
I cannot
Everybody's
wait
getting
to taste because
Smelling
I've never
amazing.
actually even had a warmed up fig before.
It's going to be delicious.
Absolutely delicious. Great. Well, this is to be continued a little bit later, but right now we're going to cross over to Bonnie, who's on the couch with our next very inspirational life coach.
Thank you, Jeannie. Realizing that you aren't happy in your career is scary, and many people struggle to take the leap from an unhappy career to one that they're passionate about. We're joined by career and life coach Mohammed Mutar to chat to us about what you can do if you feel the strong need for a career change. Welcome to the Loft, Mohammed.
Thanks, Bonnie. Great to be here.
Awesome. You're a life and career coach. How does one become a life coach? I mean, is it something like you just have to be good at life? Because I always think life coaches are people who've got it waxed. They've got this life thing figured out.
No, far from that. Actually, for me, it's been quite a journey to get to this point, you know, because when I finished school, like a lot of young people, I was thinking more on the lines of getting a job that would give me security, financial security, you know, something that will be respectable. So I went on to study dentistry. And so in my first year of dentistry, I realized this is not me, you know, and so I had to basically take a journey of introspection after that to figure out who I was. And so moving from that point onwards, you know, I really had to, you know, as the doctor was saying earlier, take a good look at who I was and get clear on, you know, what makes me unique and what my strengths are. And so after taking time to discover that, you know, I really realized that I wanted to work with people in a positive way, and life coaching seemed to be the perfect fit. So after doing life coaching, it also set for me the foundation to add other training like strengths training, and then finally career coaching, which is the niche that I work in.
Right. And how did you discover all these things in this process? Did you yourself consult a career counselor? Did you read about something? What tests, personality tests did you?
Well, all of that. I was reading a lot of books. I also had to do some of the assessments that you mentioned, and also just taking time to discover who I was. I traveled a lot overseas, and also just got time to experiment with different jobs as well, you know. Right. And then finally, I really find that once I got that inner clarity, it matched with my career as well.
I mean, we can all imagine that all over the world, there's a lot of people who are in jobs that they're unhappy with. What is the percentage in South Africa of people who are staying in jobs that they are miserable in?
Yeah. Well, you know, the recent Gallup poll that they took at the end of 2015 last year actually showed that about 44% of people are actually happy in their work, which means 56% are actually unhappy in their work, which means there's more people that are actually unhappy in their careers currently. And this was globally, including, and South Africa was included in this poll as well. Wow. So what it basically shows is that, you know, a lot of people are still not doing what they're passionate about, what they love. You know, I think a lot of people haven't taken the time to really sit down and look at who they are, or even have tools to explore who they really are. Yeah. And that shows up in the workplace. You know, we're seeing more and more cases of burnout and people with high stress levels and absenteeism, which costs companies a lot of money as well, you know, in terms of job performance and that sort of thing.
What are the contributing factors to somebody deciding to stay in a job that makes them unhappy, as opposed to going out and actually doing what they're good at or passionate about? Mm-hmm.
Well, the biggest thing I would say is that for most people, it's about financial security. You know, finding something that can support them. You know, people have families, they have bills to pay, and so that becomes the #1 priority. And so as a result, they no longer think about what do I really want, because they're more worried about survival. So one of the things, you know, we help people with in coaching is to get clear on who they are, and at the same time say that you can still make a living off this. You know, listening again to the doctor earlier, it was amazing to see that so many doors opened for her when she followed her true inner voice and followed her true self as well.
Yeah. Say I'm considering a career change, not that I am, but anybody else out there who's listening and is considering a huge career change. It's a daunting step. What is the first step? What should they do?
Well, I like to use this acronym called DREAM, which basically means that if you want to follow your dreams, you need to start first with a D, which is really to discover who you are. Wow. So that in itself is a process. It does take time. It's not an overnight thing, because it means basically saying, who am I? What are my strengths? What are my talents? What is my values? You know, what are my passions? What are the things that make me unique and stand out? And then following on that, I would say it's important to be realistic. You know, if we look at the R in DREAM, it's about also knowing that for everyone, the situation is different. So you've got to understand the job market that's out there. You also got to be able to make a living once you've discovered what it is that you want. Yeah. And then also the big thing that often stops people is fear. You know, fear is the emotional driver. And when fear comes into play, it basically makes people just stop dead in their tracks.
Paralyzes them.
Yeah, exactly, because there's this fear of what if I fail? What if it's going into territory that, you know, it's unknown for a lot of people as well. So action for me is the A that comes in. When you take action, every time there's a fear, if it means I don't know enough or this is unfamiliar territory, go and get more knowledge on the subject, network with people or find someone who can support you as well.
Right.
And that's when the M comes in, having that momentum, because building on that, you keep going and you keep, surrounding yourself with positive people, positive energy, and more knowledge on the subject.
Yeah. And for those people who don't have a dream job in mind, how do they ultimately find out where they should be work-wise?
Yeah, so, there's this great quote by Carl Jung which says that he who looks outside dreams and he who looks within awakens. And so for me, it is about going once again within. It's about taking the time to stop, to really just analyze who you are. What is it that's important to you? As I've mentioned, things like your values, things like your strengths, things like your talents, the things that you're passionate about, all of those are the drivers that ultimately will steer you towards the path that is best for you.
Thank you so much. That's very insightful.
Thanks, Mani.
So after the break, we'll be showing the interview I had last week with Maskandi artist Ihashi Elimhlophe. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
This March, Diners Club South Africa and Afternoon Express are giving away an exclusive once-in-a-lifetime golfing experience to 21 lucky viewers at 3 of the top courses around the country. In Durban, a golf clinic with the resident golfing coach at the prestigious Zimbali Country Club. In Cape Town, a clinic with Etienne Olivier at the Steenberg Golf Estate. And in Johannesburg, a golfing clinic with top-notch golfing coach Martin Brede at the Royal Johannesburg and Kensington Golf Club. Each winner will also be treated to a luxurious lunch and golfing voucher for 2. Visit afternoonexpress.co.za/giveaways to enter. T's and C's apply and also are available on our website. You have lived, laughed, loved, achieved, received, and been rewarded. What's next? Join Diners Club now.
Unlock the M Collection.
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, last week, I had the privilege of interviewing Maskandi legend Ihashi Elimhlophe in his native tongue of Zulu. I know many of you at home really wanted to see it, and here it is, and we've included subtitles for your viewing pleasure. Enjoy. Now, our next guest is not only one of South Africa's most outstanding Maskandi artists, but what's also special about this interview is that it will be conducted in Zulu, because we live in a country with 11 official languages, and we can. Namhlanje kwiloft yethu sinesivakashi esicavile esibeke umculo wesiZulu uMaskandi phambili ezweni lonke jikelele. Userekhode ama-album awu-28. Umculo kaMaskandi useyise emazweni amaningi usukela la eAfrika kanye naphesheya. Iningi limazi ngelikaHashi Elimhlophe. Ubaba uNgcobo usivakashele namhlanje kwiloft. Sawubona baba.
Yebo kunjani mntanami?
Siyajabula ukuthi uzosibona namhlanje.
Kujabula mina.
Okay, masicale ekuqaleni. Leli gama Ihashi Elimhlophe liphumaphi?
Ya, igama leHashi Elimhlophe ngumuntu obuye emakhaya. Emakhaya uma ukhula khona la ufika khona bese ufuna ukuthi le gang ukhula nayo ingakubizi ngegama lasekhaya lelobizwa ngabantu abadala. Uzosiqamba wena ukuthi ufuna ukuthi bakubize ngobani. Ngasiqamba ngeHashi Elimhlophe ngoba ngangibhekile izilwane ukuthi isiphi isilwane esinamandla. Ngikhule ngigida ingoma kakhulu ngishaya induku. Ngabheka ukuthi isilwane esinamandla nothi esasentabeni esifuywayo ekhaya. Ihashi. Ihashi maliqala lisuka nje nawe uyabona ukuthi ayonakele. Ngase ngisiqamba ukuthi ngeHashi Elimhlophe.
Wow. Leli Hashi Elimhlophe linamandla ukudlula amanye. Why elimhlophe?
Uyazi mntanami sikhulele njengoba ngisho ngithi sikhulele emakhaya uyabona uma ungathola nje ukuthi umusi upendiwe umnyama amshona ungesaba ungena
yebo ngasaba
into emhlophe
imsula
konjalo nje.
Uthando lwakho for uMaskandi luqalephi?
Uthando lwami uMaskandi ngiqale ngimncane kakhulu mhlawumbe nginabo 8 years bese ngihlala isiginci. Ngoba ekhaya nje bekuhlalwa iginci umalume wami abomalume bami bebehlala iginci ubhuti wami behlala isiginci babo behlala isiginci.
Oh,
ngakhula lapho kusegincini nami ngadlala isiginci yebo.
Okay. Abantu abaningi abazi ukuthi uke waba ilunga le Soul Brothers. Awusele ngaleyo ndaba. Ngeke ngavela kwi video game na ye Soul Brothers when I was like 18.
Yeah.
So Soul Brothers is very close to my heart.
I'm sure ngikuthanda usemncane sewakhula. Ku Soul Brothers ngafika khona ngacelwa the late David bebeqala igroup yabo encane bayibiza ukuthi Mtshotshofu, and then wangicela ukuthi ngizolida kuleyo group yabo encane Mtshotshofu, and then ngenza ama-album ke ku Soul Brothers under Mtshotshofu, ngaphansi kweMtshotshofu yebo.
Okay, iqembu Ihashi Elimhlophe lona lahlangana kanjani? Lahlangana kuphi?
Kusho ukuthi Ihashi Elimhlophe akusile iqembu imina njengoba ngisho ukuthi igama ngasiqamba lona nje Ihashi Elimhlophe.
Okay.
Ihashi Elimhlophe ngithe mangiya ku Soul Brothers bese ngina umshothu wama-album mangiyosebenza ne Soul Brothers. Le yokuqala izange yasebenza kahle, album yami yesibili i-title yayo bekuyiholo yiyo yathatha Ihashi Elimhlophe yalibeka kwenye level ke.
uMaskandi uhambisile wawutshala emazweni amaningi
kakhulu mntana.
Kakhulu. Yiphi indawo ehlala kakhulu engqondweni yakho noma enhlizweni yakho?
Yeah, ziningi ngoba khona la bengifika khona njengase-India, eChina, uzitshela ukuthi hey laba bantu laba awazi ukuthi uzobajabulisa kanjani. Uyabona umculo wamaShayina, umculo wamaNdiya.
Yebo.
Mawufika ngoMaskandi uzibuza ukuthi gazi kuzohlangana yini. Kodwa mangifika khona mase ngene stage nje bebehlanya bame ngenyawo. Enye indawo engayisho ukuthi ngoba ngiqala ukuphuma la ekhaya eSouth Africa, ngiqale ukuphuma ngingabale eSwaziland neZimbabwe, ukuthi ngiphume nje ngiye ngaphandle impela. Ngiqale ngokuthi siye eTanzania. Ngaqala ngagibela ibhanoyi saye eTanzania ngabona ukuthi hayi ngathi kusakahle. Ya eTanzania ngikhohlwa ngoba yindawo nje engaqala ukuthi ngiphume nje kakhulu ekhaya. Yeah.
Ucabangani ngesimo sika Maskandi namhlanje eSouth Africa?
Ngicabanga ukuthi zonke izinto zishintsha ziya kwenye indawo, but ngathi mina umculo kaMaskandi umculo omuhle, umculo omnandi, umculo othandwa ngabantu ngisho ngaphandle, njengoba ushilo mntanami ukuthi sengihambile amazwe ngendlela umculo abawumukela ngayo. Kodwa nawe mnikazi kuyabala ukuthi wena mawusufikile wenzani ngalomculo, ngoba kwesinye isikhathi singathanda umculo wakho but mase sikubona ususe stage uthola ukuthi akusile ndlela esicabanga ukuthi uzoyenza. Umculo kaMaskandi kubafana abancane abakhona manje ba right kakhulu, kodwa ke ngeke ngisho ukuthi bayafana ngoba omunye uthanda lokhu, omunye uthanda ivoice yakhe, omunye uthanda izwi lakhe, omunye uthanda isiginci sakhe kanjalo.
Yebo. Nike nasibusisa kakhulu ngino Phuze Khemisi
nomfazi.
Yebo. Kuze kanjani ukuthi nisebenzisane nona?
Yeah, ukuthi sisebenzisane sahlanganiswa uBhodloza Nzimande. uBhodloza khona igroup abake bayenza beno the late Sijula Somkhonto, and then bathi bacela ukuthi sibadlalele iginci ngoba umculo wami noka the late umfazi noka Phuze Khemisi bawuthanda. And then basibiza sobathathu safike sabafakela ingoma. Thema sesizifakile bathi hayi uBhodloza wathi hayi ngeke lento sizoyimosha, ngcono ukuthi nina nobathathu nifele niyenze lento kube ialbum yenu. Saqala sahlangana kanjalo ke.
Abalandeli bakho yini abangafisa ukuyizwa kwialbum yakho elandelayo?
Ngicabanga ukuthi mntanami mangenza ialbum ngizinikela kuyo ngayo yonke indlela. Nginesikhathi umsebenzi wami ngiyawuhlonipha, umsebenzi wami ngiyawuthanda. Ialbum yami noma yipi mawuzoyithola angeke uthola ukuthi kuyingoma lezi engisuke ngizenzile kunengoma ongayiswa. Yonke into mangiyenza ngenza sure ukuthi umlandeli wami umuntu olandela Ihashi Elimhlophe athole lento ayazi ukuthi uzoyithola Ihashi Elimhlophe. I'm sure koMaskandi bonke abakhona or kubaculi bonke abakhona ngumculi osebenze nabantu abaningi kakhulu. Yeah, kakhulu ya yonke inhlobo yomculo.
And usebenza isikhathi eside futhi.
Kunjalo mntanami, mawukhuluma ngekwaito ngisebenzile nabo ihouse, ngisebenzile nabo ihip hop, ngisebenzile nabo ijazz. Yeah, ngisebenze na wonke umuntu okhona ku-industry.
Okay. Well, nathi umculo wakho usuthanda kakhulu futhi siyahlonipha kakhulu. Sibongele babheke.
Ngiyazibongela kakhulu, unuthande ningayeki.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that. And Jeannie, I hope you didn't find my Zulu too cringeworthy. I love you. After the break, we'll be playing part 2 of the interview where Ihashi Elimhlophe, his wife, joins us to talk about their long-standing marriage and family. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fresh Pack. Goodness comes naturally.
Skip loves your clothes as much as you do.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3. Before the break, we played the interview I had last week with Maskandi veteran Ihashi Elimhlophe. Now we're joined by his wife, Lina Ngobo, to talk about their beautiful and inspiring marriage. Enjoy. We are so lucky in the loft today. Ubabheki Ngobo, aka Ihashi Elimhlophe, akahambi yedwa kodwa uze nomama sekhaya, uMam Ngobo. Siyakwamukela Mam Ngobo.
Yebo mntanami, ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Okokuqala nje siyanihalalisela ngeaward yenu ye-I Do.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Nizizwe kanjani uma nizwe ukuthi niwinile le award?
Angingathi nje sijabulile ngoba sibona ukuthi kusho ukuthi kukhona abantu ababona obuhle obwenziwa uNkulunkulu kuthina. Angibeke kanjalo ngoba awuzenzeli but uNkulunkulu kunikeza umusa nenhlakanipho yokuthi izinto ukwazi ukuthi uzenze zenzeke.
Wow. Nineminyaka ewu-37 nishadile. Nahlangana ngo-1979, ngazalwa ngo-1979 ngiyami. Nahlangana kuphi kanjani?
Baba?
Nazi nangumuntu okhuluma.
Spokesperson. Uyi-spokesperson.
Okay, sahlangana ePhalaborwa eNamahale. Ekseni bengeshop ngiyothenga ifish oil and endleleni bekume yena nomunye intombazane bengimjwayele no the late usikhumbuza bebesebenza naye. So la bengiyothenga khona ifish oil bebezoperforma khona eNamahale arena.
Ngihlekiswa ile ukuthi uyakhumbula ukuthi uyothenga ifish oil. Ukhunjuzwa yini?
Angikwazi kulikhohla lelo suku. Angikwazi. Ngikhumbula ngakunika wonke ama details nje alolo suku yonke into. Ngoba waseyasuka kulaba wazongibingelela kusho ukuthi baxoxe ngama ngivela ubuze le ntombazane mayesho yena ukuthi ubani lo muntu ozayo wamtshela nokuthi uyacula yabo. So mangifike eduze angicela ukuthi ngimculele ngathi hayi ngisayothenga ifish oil ngiyopheka mangiceda ukupheka ngizobuya ngizoculela and ngempela ngahamba ngabuya ngafika ngamculela.
Wow, khona nje lapho.
Yebo. Ngamculela ufuna ukuzwa ukuthi ngamculela ngathini?
Uculeni?
When I find myself in times of troubles, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Wow.
That's the song.
Wabesuthini ke wena baba?
Hayi wangishaya phakathi wayesevele ngishaya phakathi nje. Kukhona izinto uNkulunkulu azenza ngendlela yakhe ngoba mina uma uMngcobo ngalelanga ngimbona ngalo kube kusekuseni vele. Ukumbona kwami nje ngambona ngathi lo hayi kusikazi wakwaNgcobo.
Wow. Waze nje khona lapho ukuthi uma bank book lo.
Ngathi hayi lo umabhebeza kaHashi straight.
Engakafaki yabona izinto zama makeup.
Ngamthola ekseni nje I'm sure
injalo nje.
Uziphathela ufish oil wakho.
Ngingagcokanga nje ingicathulo.
Hamba ngeenyawo ngathi hayi lenkosazana hayi umama wakwaNgcobo.
Siyazi sonke ukuthi umshado awululanga. Yini eniqinisayo kakhulu emshadweni wenu?
Yo, ngasho ukuthi into ebaluleke kakhulu kubantu ababili ukukhonza uNkulunkulu. Ngoba uma ukhonza uNkulunkulu uyazi ukuthi njengobaba wekhaya kufuneka wenzeni. Uma ukhonza uNkulunkulu njengomama wekhaya uyazi ukuthi kufuneka wenzeni. And then enye into ebalulekile emshadweni kubantu ababili iqiniso kungabi namanga kungabi nezimfihlo
Yes.
kwangcobo ayikho imali ekabani imali kwangcobo yethu
Yini,
konke kukwangcobo kwethu ifone kwangcobo yethu ngoba eminye imishado ihlukana icatshaniswa amafoni kudivorce abantu ngendaba zamafoni ngoba kunefoni kabani evulwa ngeinamba ezithile kungafuneki zibone omunye umuntu thina kwangcobo ifoni nje sendlini eyethu mangivuka ekseni mhlambe makwenzeka hlukana ngoba 24/7 sisonke makwenzeka hlukana uvuka ekseni uthatha ifoni ayibona ukuthi ibattery li right thathe yona hambe nayo asinankinto.
Wow. Isiphi isifundo esimqoka enisifundisa abantwana benu?
Ukusaba uNkulunkulu. Yeah. Into esibafundise yona ukusaba uNkulunkulu, sibafundisa ukuthi ukuqala kokuhlakanipha njengoba izwi lisho is ukusaba ukumesaba uJehova, to fear God. That's the most important thing that we gave them, that they mustn't fear us abasabe uNkulunkulu, because when they fear God they'll make sure that they go according to the word of God, and if they fear us they'll make sure that when we're not around, they do everything that they think they can do, you know, and you know when you, because as a youth, when you do things, you can do things the way you do things. Yes, yes.
Yeah, uqinisile mama sibafundisa ukuthi abasaba uNkulunkulu bahloniphe thina. Yeah.
Iqiniso ukuthi umama Ngcobo uyena owathengela ubabheka imoto yakhe uqala.
Yeah.
Yeah,
kwenzeke kanjani?
Into enhle ukuthi engayisho umntanami thina ngathanda uLina naye wathanda uBheki. Abantu abaningi ngizima ngihlangana nabo bethe unkosikazi wakho simase ebhona mshoko ungakabikho. Mina ukuthi azafika eGoli walandwa yimina from la eParabula. And mayifika la wahlangana nosiswe zako lo producer uRebecca. Wamuswe ecula wathi hey icula kamnandi wenza ingoma naye bayo join istimela waqala ukurecord uqale eqala ukuduma eqala vele kunabo yes yeah and wangithatha masedumile besihluphekela akukho ukuhlupheka ongasitshela khona singakwazi ukulala emkhukhwini siyakwazi dilizelwa imkhukhu lesasikhathi
athatha umasipala
siyakwazi ukulala ngaphandle izenke selithathiwe siyakwazi ukulala egrebhini zemoto ngiyakwazi
uyakwazi
ayikho into esingathi mhlawumbe ukuhlupheka khona singakwazi sikwazi konke inhlobo yokuhlupheka mayeseqala eba right waqala nje wathola I'm sure wayiqala ukuthola u2000 wesa kimi ehlanye edayi baba kuhlupheka kupheli
kodwa ngaleso sikhathi hayi besisho ngayo yonke indlela ukuthi ukuhlupheka ukuthi
uyayibona indaba ayindlali
indlala hayi ihambile
yeah and wangithatha wangise driving school ngaye driving school ngathola license wangibuza uyayifuna imoto ngathi yebo wathi asiye garage saye garage sabheka ngakhomba imoto ebengiyithanda leso sikhathi bekuyicolt Galant ngayikhomba wangithengela yona
ngiyakhumbula icolt yeah siyanibongela kakhulu futhi siniphisela konke okuhle
no nathi siyabonga kakhulu sibonga kakhulu ukuthi nibe nathi namhlanje.
Oh, what an absolutely sweet couple. They didn't let go of each other's hands
the
whole
whole
interview.
Time. At the beginning of the interview, they actually asked me if they could face each other because they didn't want to not face each other and face me. How amazing.
So beautiful.
Yeah. After the break, we put the finishing touches on our roasted fig with Greek yogurt and almond brittle. We'll be right back after this.
Magnum could be the one. Find a key with a unique code and stand a chance to win a shopping spree worth 100,000 Rand, plus designer fashion accessories by Gert-Johan Coetzee. Unlock the M Collection.
Salati Plantation Select adds subtle sweetness to toffees, caramel, bran muffins, or sprinkled into a spicy curry. Salati, always good, always sweet.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express as we're about to add the delicious little finishing touches to our roast fig and almond brittle dessert. This is looking already delicious. Like, I could just throw them all together and voila.
As is. So I've got a plate for you and I've got my plate, so we're each going to plate up one of our own little dishes. So we're going to mix our yogurt with our cream.
Okay.
But I've seemed to have lost the cream.
You've been hanging out with Danilo far too much.
And he's not in the loft today, so I've got to kind of represent. So we got some Greek yogurt, which is naturally, it's got a bit of a bitter flavour in it.
And that
just cuts through the creaminess of the creaminess of the cream, yeah.
That looks like a great combo. Why mix the cream and the yogurt? What is it? I mean, just for the flavour, I suppose.
If you think about cream, it's just that richness of cream on its own. By adding the Greek yogurt, it's just another layer of flavour. And just, like I said, it cuts through that richness. And makes it a little bitter. Bitterness is amazing. We actually need to have some bitterness in a dish to actually complement all the other flavours that you've got going on. So, let's get cracking.
Okay, but now, can I just do it how I want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got your little spatula.
Okay.
And you can
I take the nut brittle?
Go for it.
And just break off my piece.
So that's the one that we made earlier, and it's kind of set up really firm like a brittle. Yeah. What you could also do is pop it in a food processor, blitz it to make a almond dust, which is also pretty great.
Okay.
And little tiny pieces like this, or massive shards as you're doing it.
Yeah, but I'm just getting creative here. I don't know what you're going to do. I just know what I'm going to do.
No, you're doing a great job.
I just kind of invented this on the spot.
We spoke about fig and blue cheese, and we know that goes really well together. Yeah. If you wanted to take a complete spin with this dish, you could make a fig and blue cheese pizza, take your almond brittle, blitz that up and sprinkle that over your pizza. That, like I said, the sweetness actually complements the pizza really well, and
Clem,
savouriness.
I'm finished for you. That is such a good idea. Okay, how's what I'm doing? Is this like how it's supposed to be?
It's looking really good. You're doing little canapes.
Yeah.
I'm just doing little bits of art.
Wow. Okay, good.
So we've got our figs that we've roasted in the pan. Great, that is looking really good.
It's going to taste so good.
So I'm going to take some of these as well. And just kind of sprinkle that over. Like I said, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You could also do this in little cups and serve them. You can make them ahead of time.
Yeah.
So when your guests arrive, you've got them ready-made.
I mean, look at that.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I was just thinking of how we're going to, like, you know, make the most out of this dish so that everyone can have a little bit.
We made it work. We made it work.
There you go. Actually, this is quite a good idea. If you maybe want to let us know what your combination looks like out of this recipe, why don't you tweet it to us at Afternoon Express? Because I think I'd like to see what you've done with it. That looks amazing. I need to maybe decorate my plate a little bit as well.
I'm actually thinking about it now. It's a great way to actually have all these ingredients out on your table and have your guests plate their own dish. How's that?
Oh, yeah, for one of those really creative evenings. And of course, if you want this delicious recipe, all you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and all of this juicy yumminess will be there. Clem,
we did so well. We did well.
Amazing. I mean, one of these canapes have my name on it.
Looks great.
Wait, anticipation is killing us. Bring that food over.
Buddy, I'm bringing it over.
Do you guys cook much?
Well, I'm definitely inspired to cook now.
Oh, you really? Have I inspired you? There you go.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to make you choose which one you prefer, but...
That's incredible.
That looks amazing.
Intent. It's a great combination.
So are you working on any new books that we can expect from you in the future?
Not at the moment. You know, I think when I feel inspired, then I will do it. But I've got so much else going on that, yeah, when the time is right to write again, I will.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking about that one quote. To become a master takes how many 5,000 hours or 15,000? 100,000. However many hours.
The Malcolm Gladwell theory.
Yeah, 10,000 hours.
So 10,000 hours to become a master at something.
10,020, whatever.
Whole range.
That's why I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. But were you writing even when you were doing medicine? Was it something that was just always in you?
No, it was never my dream. But I've always journaled. So I suppose that's a kind, you know, that's a form of writing, although it was purely for me. But yeah, when the inspiration hit, I went for it in a big way.
That's awesome. Excellent. Remember, today we're giving away hampers containing both of Dr. Phalime's books, Postmortem and Second Chances. All you have to do is SMS the keyword books, your name and city to 33728. SMSs cost R1.50, T's and C's apply, and can be found on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za.
Now, I'm not one to be very bossy, but I will insist for you to dish up.
We'll start
Yes, I can see that you are salivating. You're dying to taste my dessert. I recommend you do. I think you're going to enjoy it. Now, make sure you join us again tomorrow for Afternoon Express, and tune in early, because during the first 15 minutes of the show, we're chatting to iconic author Sindiwe Magona, and in the kitchen, we're making a curried chicken tray bake. Now, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds amazing. Like a little chicken bake. It's going to be good. Thank you so much, Clem, for teaching me how to make this fabulous dessert. I will definitely try it out. And thank you so much to our wonderful guests. It certainly was an inspiring Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Lovely having you, and lovely having you. We will see you again tomorrow. Same place, same time. Good night and happy eating. Ciao.
Bye.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, veteran author Sindiwe Magona joins us in the loft, and we chat to the creators of South Africa's own children's doll, Mompim Poppy.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here, and we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.